Well, if there was any doubt whether or not I was professional before, then I guess by now it's for certain that I'm not. I just wanted to quickly show the kind of trees that I like working on. These trees are for my two oldest daughters. Um, Paid for the trees, but it'll be quite a while yet before I get them covered. Um, this is an old style Visalia, California type saddle. These two here, they're both exactly the same. The only difference is about half an inch difference in the trees. This is a 14.5 inch tree for my oldest daughter. This is a 14-inch tree, and when they get covered with leather, this 14.5 tree will make a 14-inch saddle. And um, they got enough horn up here to grab a hold of. They're not going to be roping anything heavy, so they don't need a heavy post horn like on my son's tree here. And I like the slope of this here also. I like to pay a lot of attention to, I guess you'd call it, the aesthetics of a saddle. And you can see here, and this here will remain when it's built. You know, everything just kind of ties in on these old-time saddles. And you've got a little bit of a lip here, so you can put that Samstag rigging on there if you want. It's got a nice high cantle, which is what I like. It's got a fairly straight cantle also, and I think I mentioned before it. Obviously, this is an A fork right here. If there was a split fork built, then you know these type here were it. If you get into older Visalias, you know, like the second half of the 1800s, you know, see a little more of a swell right here, like on the Visalia 3B tree, which is also a real nice looking tree. But this particular tree, this old style Visalia, like this, in my personal opinion, is just the most beautiful tree that's ever been made. And then the most common tree, the most popular tree today, is the Wade. Now this is a tree that my son had built, and the first thing that you'll notice is different about this particular Wade is that it's got a comfort cantle, which is pretty common today, but it's got a 4.5 inch high comfort cantle on it. The tree maker that I got all of these from had never made a comfort cantle that high. They're usually right around 3 inches high. The idea is that being flatter or straighter across the back, it doesn't put pressure against your back. My son likes that. He rode a saddle that had a comfort cantle, and he liked it, but he didn't like the real short cantle, and so he decided to have one built like this. And I kind of have an idea that this is going to really catch on because it's higher. A lot of people like that. And then with these right here, if you're like me, if you spend a lot of time in a saddle with your hand on one side twisted around looking off behind you, you got more to grab a hold of. It's a little more comfortable here. And I've always liked big fast horses, so usually anybody I'm with is behind me, so I spend a lot of time with my hand like this here and looking over my shoulder. The other thing about this here, you can see this is also a slit fork right here. It's not as narrow. If I remember, I think this has a 9 inch swell in it right here, so it's noticeably more narrow than my daughter's, but it's still a slick fork. And then he's going to have buckrows on his. My girls, I don't think they want buckrows on theirs. And another thing that my son designed about this one here is this here, that you could call it the Guadalajara horn, or the teardrop shaped horn. And it's just, to me, I think it's a beautiful horn. He's got a nice size. You can see real nice size horn cap up here, and then if you look here, it's not too tall, it's just right for galley, and you don't have any extra height on here. And you can see that you can bring a rope off easily here, coming around, you know, you got plenty to grab a hold of it. This is just to me, I think, for um, for roping or just general ranch work, just my own personal opinion, I think that this here is the best horn that you can get. And he came up with the slope, the size of the horn cap, and the height, thickness of the neck, everything exactly the way that he wanted. And when you order a tree, a custom tree built, then you can do that. You know, as far as the bars and the gullet, that's going to be more dependent on the build of most of the horses that you ride, not you know, not so much on what you like, as far as like with the swell and the horn and the cantle. But again, this is something that with the production saddle or factory made saddle, you just can't get that much put into it. And then earlier, I should add, I put on my URL, it's going to be www.smokesaddlery.com, and I paid for the URL, but as you might be able to tell by watching these videos that I just shot, when I should actually be working on a saddle instead of playing with my computer, I'm not real good on computers, and so I don't know how long it's going to take before I actually get that website up. So even though you'll see that smokesaddlery.com down here, it's just not up and going yet. I've got a free website that I put up for horse training that you could find, and there's a way to get a hold of me through there. There's no W's in that one, but the URL for that one is http://smoke-horse-training, all put together like one word, .tripod.com. And I guess that's about all that I need to put on this one. Pretty soon I guess I need to get back to work and quit playing with this computer.